How are you feeling about this group just at this point of the offseason?
Well, this is year 3 for us, and the expectations are a lot higher for us. And whether we've created them or the community's created them, whatever, we're really expecting to have a better year. And the kids' mindset has really shown that could happen.
And just going back to last year, I mean, what were just some of the biggest boosts of kind of experience and things like that this group learned from last year? I mean, you guys were in a whole lot of battles, really close battles in conference play too.
Yeah, we tied our school record for wins, and then we had a lot of close games, and then just the work ethic and the toughness changed. That was the thing that we saw as a coaching staff, that the kids were a lot tougher than they had been since we've been here the 2 years prior, or the year prior. So the mindset is kind of what has changed that makes us excited about this season.
How are you feeling about the offense at this point?
I really feel like ahead. I really do. Last offseason, we've kind of been blending in what we're doing to this point. And then offseason, we really hammered what we want. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to play to our strengths, what we have. And we know we have a lot bigger guys, so how do we slow the game down? How do we use that strength? So our offense is ahead of the game right now. It's because we put so much time and we're playing to our strengths.
Defensively, how are things shaping up at this point?
We lost a lot last year on our defensive side. We lost pretty much our whole back end on the secondary. So the whole thing this year was, how do we play to our strengths again, and how do we get our defensive linemen bought in to help that secondary, and how can the secondary do what they need to do to help that front end? So really tying those two things together and trying to find new guys that can do what we need to do has kind of been our focus in the offseason, into the season.
You mentioned expectations. How much is this just kind of going all the way back to year one? Mm-hmm. How much has this group kind of embraced the expectations and everything compared to the very beginning when you got here?
You hear about coaches all the time talking about year three, and I think the reason why you hear that so much is because these young guys have heard that, your voice saying that, the last 2 years. And so it's kind of that transition year this year when it's kind of, they've heard it 2 years and now it's kind of a habit. And so I think year 3 is really big on understanding those expectations and knowing what we need to do and follow through with it.
What are some of the other areas you want to address before the benefit game?
Special teams. I'm a huge believer in special teams because it put us in a situation last year where it just dropped us last year out of some games. So, putting as much time into our special teams as we do in our offensive defense and trying to be as best of 3 phases as we can, that's kind of our real goal going into that scrimmage.